Hey guys, before the video starts, I just want to give a great shout out to my wonderful members. Plush Anime Game Adventures, Enchanted Stones. The Barbie of Aloha, Trashy Paper Plush Shows. Giratina Sawtrap Gaming, Jster, and Lightning Rocks. Survivor Sands and NASA YT. And Levi OC. Thank you all so much for the extra support. You guys rule. Now on to the video.
So we're on a Grand Prix. Better than torn up in every moment. If it all's worth my eventual sense, maybe then time again will weave a thread until the end. Vow with you and I that when we die we'll leave behind a meaningful legend.
Hey guys, it is I, TDI Fan, and as you can see, I'm making a unique video this time around. Rather than making the usual stuff you would expect, I'm actually making something original for once. Well, that's not TPI related or PoE related or movie related and all that stuff. Anywho, this was an idea that I've had for a while and I've wanted to make a video like this, and now that I have some spare time, I decided now would be a good time to do it. So, as you can see, this is a One Piece related video. In this video, I will be going in depth with the Straw Hat Pirates. By that I mean, where I'm going to see, or I'm going to state their current bounties in the story. There will be manga spoilers, so if you aren't like up to date with the manga, at least up to chapter 1164, then I guess I would I'll click away and wait until you catch up to that point. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be going through each of the bounties of each Straw Hat member, and I'm going to say whether I agree or disagree with their current bounty. So as you can see, this video is going to be unscripted, so expect a lot of stuttering or me trying to come up with what to say. But with that out of the way, let's get on with it. And if you would like to participate, feel free to let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the other bounties and what bounty you would actually give them, because I'll be doing that as well. So we're going to be going in order. We're going to start with, of course, the captain and make our way to Jinbei. So yeah, with that said, let's get on with the video. Also, I don't know if anyone has done this before. If they have, if you're watching this, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll give you a shout out for the idea. But yeah, with that said, let's get on with the ranking. Or I guess it's not really a ranking, but it's going to be the whole list. I guess the whole shebang. Let's just do it. Come on. All right. So we're starting with your boy Monkey D. Luffy, the captain of the Straw Hats. His current bounty is 3 billion berries. That's a lot. He's definitely has one of the highest bounties ever. He shares it with Kid and Law, which I'm like, okay, but I guess it makes sense because those two are also big names in the One Piece world now. But yeah, this bounty increased ever since he defeated Kaido back in the Onigashima arc. So obviously it makes sense why his bounty is so high. He took down one of the 4 emperors of the sea. It's common sense. And now he has Gear 5. So obviously I agree with this bounty. Could it be a little more higher? I'm not sure, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Buggy's bounty is a little higher than Luffy's, but given that he was a part of the Roger Pirates, it makes sense. And also Shanks is like 4 point something billion. So I think this is definitely a great bounty for Luffy, especially at this point of the story. Of course, it'll obviously, go up when the series comes to an end. So this isn't going to be his final bounty. As a matter of fact, I doubt it's going to be the final bounty for any of the Straw Hats. But for Luffy's current bounty, do I agree? I, of course, agree 100%. Luffy is now an Emperor of the Sea. He has taken down so many big names, Doflamingo, Kaido, etc. And right now, he might take down another big name, one of the God Knights, or, somebody else. And he was also really going toe to toe with a freaking elder, one of the 5 elders, and Kizaru, an admiral. So, yeah, Luffy definitely deserves this bounty 100%. And it's definitely going to go up as the series goes on. I know it's going to go up, and I cannot wait to see what his bounty will increase to. But yeah, right now it's currently 3 billion. I agree 100%. All right, now it's time for the right-hand man of the Straw Hat crew, Roronoa Zoro, who is, of course, the second member of the crew, the pirate hunter, the swordsman, Zoro. You gotta love Zoro. So his current bounty is 1.111 billion berries, which is big, of course, and for the right-hand man of a emperor crew, it's very expected. Do I agree? I will say yes, because at this point in the game, Zoro definitely deserves a very high bounty. He is a menace in the One Piece world. He has taken down so many characters. I mean, took down Keen in the recent arc. In Egghead, he was going toe-to-toe with Lucci, and he even took Lucci down. I mean, I guess he was a little beaten from his fight with Gear 5 Luffy, but still, he did take down Lucci, so I'll give that to Zoro. And he is doing a lot, especially compared to the other hand of the Straw Hats, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Zoro is a GOAT. He is super strong. He has come close to death many times, and he's still standing. So I believe his bounty is very deserved. Yeah, for sure. And he's definitely going to go up as well as the story progresses. We'll see how he does in the Elbaf arc. But currently, I agree with his bounty. Next, we have the navigator of the crew, Nami. Her current bounty is sitting at 366 million berries. And I feel like that's definitely deserved for Nami. She hasn't really done anything like gigantic. I can't really recall. Like, I guess there was that one time in the Wano arc with what's her name? I already forgot her name. The girl in the blue with the blue hair. I think y'all know. I already forgot her name. Sorry, sorry to the fans of her. But yeah, I guess she didn't really. Well, I guess she kind of did go toe to toe with her for a bit until Big Mom came in the picture. But she stood her ground. So I'll give her respect for that, at least especially compared to Usopp, who was already giving up immediately in that situation. But at least Nami was able to stand her ground. So major respect for her. And yeah, at this point on in the story, 366 million is definitely a big number that I feel is definitely deserved for the navigator of the crew. I would love to see her do a lot more. Hopefully in the Elbaf arc, we'll see what's up. But yeah, I will say I agree with this current bounty for Nami. Next, we have the sharpshooter himself, God Usopp, who is currently sitting at a 500 million berry bounty. Now, do I agree with this? I have to say, no, I don't. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not an Usopp hater. I do like Usopp, but I don't think this bounty is deserving for him because post-time skip, Usopp hasn't really done much at all like Nami. There was that one moment in Dressrosa, but let's be honest, he was really lucky, being at the right place at the right time, that type of thing. I guess he did free everybody from being a toy, but that was really the only thing he did. I guess he also, gained that hockey ability. I think it was, observation hockey. But, I mean, when it comes to fights, what did he do? I can't even recall, his last major fight. It must have been back in Eni's lobby or something. I don't even know. But yeah, Usopp really needs a level up, and many are hoping that Elbaf is the arc where he gets his level up. I also really hope that this is the arc where Usopp can truly shine and prove that he is going to be the brave warrior of the sea. Because right now we have not really seen that, and that's why it's really tough to be an Usopp fan these days. So, Usopp, I really hope you level up. But when it comes to your current bounty, I have to say, no, I do not agree with you being at 500 million berry bounty. Uh, yeah, that whole shebang. Anyway, if I have to give you a score, or I guess if I had to rate your bounty, I would probably have you be close to like Nami, maybe like 400 million or somewhere around there. But I would not agree with 500 million. So in this case, I do not agree with his current bounty. Sanji, 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 the cook of the crew, the black leg, the Vin smoke. His bounty is currently at 1.032 billion berries. Do I agree? I'm in the middle. I'm on the fence with Sanji. Don't get me wrong. I love Sanji. He has a lot of great moments. And I mean, come on, you saw him in the Whole Cake Island arc where he truly got to shine as the character that we know and love. But post time skip, Sanji has fallen so hard. I'm so sorry. When it comes to any character of the Straw Hat crew that has fallen, I think Sanji had the biggest fall, if that even makes sense. I mean, yes, there was Whole Cake Island, so he got some redemption there. And I guess in the Wano arc, he had his fight with Queen, which was really good. He finally had a really good fight. But Egghead, he took a backseat. You know, he became a side character. Like, they even gave Zoro a moment in Egghead. Sanji did not get that. So that's pretty sad to see. And currently in not Egghead, and currently in Elbaf, we haven't seen a great moment from him yet. Now, granted, we haven't gone to the big fights, but will Sanji even get a big fight this arc? I have no idea. Anyway, I guess his bounty is, it makes sense. Because now that we know he's a Vinsmoke, and we already know about the Vinsmokes, he's a big name now. So it would make sense why he has such a big bounty. And, you know, he's the third in command of the Straw Hat crew, I guess. Either him or Jinbei. I guess it would be Sanji, because, you know, he's a part of the Monster Trio. But, you know, I will say I agree with his bounty. But I really do hope that, you know, his whole goofy side, and by that I mean him being a freaking simp, I really hope they, you know, water that down, because that is the worst part of Sanji's character. And they really got to step it up. So, Eiichiro Oda, please, I need you to have Sanji get a big moment. Him and Usopp need a big moment. They really do. So, yeah, I will say I agree with his current bounty, given his fight with Queen and his background. But character-wise, Sanji really needs to step up. Yeah, that was a lot of me yapping about Sanji, but now we gotta talk about the doctor of the crew, Tony Chopper. Yes, Chopper. We all love Chopper. Unfortunately, he has the lowest bounty of the entire crew at a whopping 1,000 berries, which at this point is just a gag. Chopper is not going to get a big bounty like everybody else because they only see him as the pet of the Straw Hat crew, if you know what I mean. And given with what we've seen of Chopper, I guess it's understandable. I mean, whenever he does do something, the Marines aren't there, or I guess no one's talking about it. So that would explain why his bounty is always so low. But then again, post-time skip, Chopper never had a big moment. Like, even in the Whole Cake arc, where they could have gave Chopper a big moment since he was one of the Straw Hats that was there. But he didn't really have a big moment. I mean, I guess he kind of went toe-to-toe with Big Mom, but that wasn't really anything. And then he kind of went toe-to-toe with Queen, but, you know, he was kind of losing there too. So, yeah. The only big thing Chopper did was create the cure to save everybody in the Wano arc. So that was his big moment. Other than that, what has he done? Like, when it comes to fights, he hasn't had a single great fight since Enies Lobby, where he fought that one guy. I think his name was like Kumadori or something. Anyway, that was his last great fight, and honestly his best fight. So, you know, going into the future of this story, I want to see Chopper do more. It looks like Oda might be, you know, setting something up for him in Elbaf. So we'll see what's up. But I will have to disagree with him, of course, given what we know about Chopper. His bounty should definitely be way higher than 1,000. So I disagree here 100%. But I do like this little gag, so I'm okay with it. But by the end of the series, Chopper definitely needs like a big bounty. So we'll see what happens. But as of now, I disagree with Chopper's current bounty. But I also hope to see more of this character like I do with Sanji and Usopp. Next, we have the archaeologist of the crew, Nico Robin, the devil child, if you will. Her current bounty is sitting at a whopping 930 million berries. That is huge. I think when it came to the entire crew, she had like the biggest jump when it came to her bounty when it increased. It was either her or Luffy, one of the two, or even Usopp, I don't even remember. But yeah, 900 million or 930 million. That is insane. She is like 70 something million below Sanji, which is insane. But do I agree? I have to say yes. Nico Robin is one of the most important and influential characters in the story. Like, she knows a lot about the Void Century, and as you can see, the government wants to take her down. They still do to this day, or to the current story. They still want to take her down, take her out, and all that stuff. So as you can see, she is a threat to the government, which is, of course, awesome. It's nice to see how much of an impact this character has to the story. And I guess post-time skip, she has done a lot. She had a pretty big fight in the Onigashima arc, so that's great. She had some importance in the Egghead arc. And in Elbaf, she is one of the big important characters that's having a moment. And it looks like where they were, setting things up, she might be fighting one of the God Knights, which would be really awesome. And this could also, increase her bounty once people find out what happens on Elbaf. So yeah, if I had to, give her another bounty, I would say probably put her at a decent billion berries because, like I said, she knows a lot. She is a very important character. I feel like a billion would make sense for this character, but I will not be upset with 930. I'm not upset with that bounty. So I agree, but I would not mind if they increase it a little as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the current bounty for Robin. Next, we have the shipwright of the crew, Frankie, Cyborg Frankie. His current bounty is sitting at 934 million berries, and I have to say I disagree. At this point in the story, I feel like Frankie's bounty should be higher, especially compared to Usopp. Like, I would swap him and Usopp. I feel like those two should swap when it comes to their bounties, because Frankie has done so much more, especially post-time skip. He had a really awesome fight with Senor Pink and Dressrosa. He had a really great fight in the Wano arc, and he did a lot in that arc too. And in Egghead, he was there with everyone. He was pulling his punches, or he wasn't pulling his punches, but, he did a lot. He was saving people. He was, learning so much about Vegapunk because that was like his idol. And even in Elbaf, he's doing stuff. So I feel like every arc that he's in, Oda is giving him some time to shine, which is awesome to see. And that's why I feel like his bounty should be way higher, especially compared to Usopp. So I would definitely swap them. I feel like 500 million would be great for Frankie. Or maybe like 400 something. But he definitely should have a higher bounty. And yeah, so I disagree with his bounty. And I would love to see more of this guy too. Even though we do see a good amount of, Frankie in the current story. So that's great. But yeah, when it comes to his bounty, I disagree. Next, we have the Soul King himself, Brook. His current bounty is sitting at 383 million berries. And I feel like that's a very fine bounty for Brook. I mean, he hasn't done a lot post-time skip. He did carry the Whole Cake Island arc, so that is amazing. And he was doing some stuff, but he wasn't a major character in the Wano arc, and in Egghead, and in Elbaf, I guess. Except they are setting him up in Elbaf, so fingers crossed we get to see some more Brook action in this arc. So I'm looking forward to see what Oda comes up with. But given his current bounty, I will have to say I agree. I don't have much to say about Brook because, like I said, he hasn't done a lot compared to some other Straw Hats post-time skip. But I would love to see him do more as well. At least it's not as bad as Usopp. So there you go. Last but certainly not least, we have the helmsman of the crew, Jimbei, the son of the sea, or something like that. I forgot his catchphrase or his nickname. Anyway, Jimbei is the recent Straw Hat crew member, and his bounty is currently sitting at 1.1 billion berries, which is rightfully so. I mean, he was a warlord of the sea. He did a lot during the past of the One Piece story. He was working with Big Mom for some time, and that was what, what was the word? That is what caused him to not join the crew immediately when Luffy asked him, because he was like, "Oh, I'm still working with Big Mom, but once I sort that stuff out, I will join you." So yeah, that was what Jinbei said, and it worked, because in the Whole Cake Island arc, he officially joined the crew, even though he wasn't with them yet, because he also had some stuff to settle with Big Mom still, and then I guess he officially joined. Technically, he officially joined in Whole Cake, but it was the Wano arc where he was officially present with the crew and helped them out with that situation. And he has a lot of great moments. I mean, of course, when we first met him, he helped Luffy with the whole Paramount War, and that was awesome. And he is such an important character to Luffy's story, or his arc. So, of course, we have major respect for Jinbei, the best fishman of the story, or in the story. Anyway, his bounty, I agree, because he's such a big character, and still to the current story, even though in Egghead and I guess in Elbaf too, he's kind of taken a back seat, which isn't great, but hopefully he'll, have a big moment, because Elbaf is not done yet. So we'll see what's up for Jinbei. But I agree. I agree with his bounty. He's such a big character. It makes sense why his bounty is so big. And in the Wano arc, he had a really great fight with Who's Who. So, yes, it makes perfect sense why his bounty is so high and why he's at the top of the ranking for the Straw Hat crew, given their current bounties. And that's how I would, rate the current bounties for each Straw Hat member. There was a lot that I agreed with, and there were some that I disagreed with. But overall, these characters are great no matter what. Even the ones that I had a lot of nitpicks for, like Sanji and Usopp, I still love them to bits. I love all of these characters, and Oda, you do such a great job writing these characters. And it makes sense why these characters are the main characters, because they are so awesome and so well developed. So that is how I would agree and disagree to their current bounties. How would you guys agree and disagree to their current bounties? Are there some that you agree with me, or are there others that you don't? Let me know in the comments how you would do this with their bounties, and let's have a nice chat about One Piece, because One Piece is peak fiction. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.